I'm Joe Duffy for Picks and Parlays. It's time for the Tailgate Party, Week 0 of college football. This broadcast goes back to the scorephone days, well in the last century. Been doing this since 1988, and the reason I'm 16-3, yes, I'm literally 16-3 in football so far. Why? I spent a good part of the summer, most of the summer, in fact, training ChatGPT and Claude to be like my full-time research staff. It's paid off big time. I got tons, look at this, I have tons and tons of information for Week 0 in college football, and I'm going to share some of those highlights with you. If you want more information like this each and every week, please hit the like button. I got so much information I can share with you, but you got to say you want it. Please hit the like button. All right. We've got, of course, a team that's going to be without their coach, another team that should have a big intangible making their FBS debut, and they're going to be doing it at home. Some key injuries, a lot of teams replacing some personnel. So let's get to it. Week 0, college football, North Carolina and TCU. Steve Belichick, the son of Bill, will be without. North Carolina will be without their defensive coordinator. So the staff is going to have to pick up the slack, and that's pretty significant considering they only return about 32% of their snaps on defense this year. Now, it is a revenge situation. TCU annihilated North Carolina 48-14 last year, outgaining them 542-222. UNC will start Billy Edwards Jr., the Maryland and Wisconsin transfer, and Bobby Petrino. Yes, Bobby Petrino, the offensive coordinator. Got to give the guy credit. He knows offenses fairly well. TCU will start Harvard transfer Jaden Craig, who did throw for 6,074 passing yards and 52 touchdowns in FCS. TCU does have a significant absence here, though. Reese Vernhoff's eligibility has been resolved in TCU. A little bit of a controversy. Jacob Fields was dismissed from the program. He was going to replace all Big 12 safety Bud Clark. So that's been a little bit of a distraction. San Jose State and USC. Is USC going to be in a statement mode? They've been a little bit of a disappointment. They haven't really contended for a national title. With Lincoln Riley there, they are expected to this year, but they might have a reason to make an early statement. They have an established quarterback, to say the least. They also will, though, be without a couple of supporting staff. 2 wide receivers departed for the NFL, 1,900 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns. USC did have a big offensive line injury. Killian O'Connor has been ruled out for the entire year. USC will be debuting Gary Patterson as their defensive coordinator. He will be going up against San Jose State Hawaii transfer Luke Weaver at the quarterback position. He was okay last year, 63 of 105, so not really an established player. Now, a lot of sharps I talked to say if this game is low scoring early, maybe bet the adjusted live line because running back Jabari Bates does give the underdog San Jose State some explosiveness. NC State and Virginia, one of the most important confirmed absences is for Virginia. Rico Flores Jr. is out with a hamstring injury. Virginia linebacker Cam Robinson remains a big question mark as well. Keep an eye on that. 64 tackles in only 8 games. Virginia will not have their running back specialist Solomon Beebe, who's been suspended. We do have quarterback stability, though, is certainly on NC State's favor. C.J. Bailey returns. He threw for over 3,000 yards last year. State has won 6 of the last 7 meetings in the series. Some might say that's a big intangible. Jacksonville State, North Dakota State. North Dakota State, their first game in FBS. The Fargo Dome should be going nuts in this one. Fifth-year senior Nathan Hayes makes his first start at quarterback as NDSU will be replacing a lot of offensive personnel. So maybe the quote-unquote intangibles would favor them. Some would say it should be an electric stadium, but they are replacing a lot. While Jacksonville State does have proven quarterback in Caden Creel, who did exceed 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards passing last year, but they do have to replace their leading rusher and the rebuilt offensive line, but they do have a prospect, 6'8" receiver DeAndre Johnson. All right, Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan. Man, do we have a lot of information. You do want to follow me. Make sure you follow me at pnp.buzz/JD. I give you picks there every day. pnp.buzz/JD. Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan. No team's got more uncertainty than Sacramento State, but you can use that to your advantage. We Sharps like to exploit uncertainty. They do bring in 73 newcomers. Some people might say they'll start out awful and then be grossly undervalued, be getting a bunch of points in games 3 and 4, and that's when they can certainly sneak under the radar because they're a team that should improve as the year goes on. Though quarterback Carson Conklin does return to Sacramento State after spending last season at Fresno State, so that's quite interesting. One major weakness, though, for Eastern Michigan, they surrendered 232.1 rushing yards last season, which was dead last in the MAC. Hawaii and Stanford. Hawaii certainly does have an established quarterback. Stanford, though, does have Michigan transfer Davis Warren. New Mexico State and Florida State. The centerpiece of the passing game will be Deuce Robinson for Florida State. They will have transfer Ashton Daniels at quarterback, but they do have, as we said, Robinson, who caught over 1,000 yards passing last year. Now, maybe secretive, Florida State has refused to release a depth chart. Is that going to make a difference? I don't really think so. New Mexico State will start Furman transfer Trey Hayden, who completed 68.5% of his passes, 3,000 yards last year, so they could be a little bit of a live underdog. Memphis and UNLV. Some people would say this is one of the bigger games of the weekend. The loser would probably be eliminated from being the fly in the ointment, the group of 6 playoff positioning. Either one of these teams could sneak in there in the playoffs, but the loser certainly will not. UNLV has been very secretive about who they're going to go with quarterback. And Memphis also has really an unresolved quarterback situation themselves. UNLV, though, does have fantastic running game with the kid Thomas, who's rushed for over 1,000 yards and 7 yards per carry. And Memphis expected to make a major transition, Memphis, under their first-year coach, Charles Huff. So we'll see if they're at a little bit of a disadvantage in Game 1. Some people may say that they will be. So there's no question, if you're a big believer in continuity in Game 1, UNLV has the big continuity advantage. Please, if you find this information useful, hit the like button. I'm asking you to hit that like button because I'll invest the time. I'll give this to you in 2-3 parts on Saturday. If I get hundreds of likes and thousands of views, I'll do it in 2 parts on an NFL Sunday. I'm telling you, I got tons and tons of information. The future is so bright. I gotta wear shades, but I'm just telling you, nobody in this industry is mastering AI the way I am. Quite frankly, AI helped me compile a lot of this information, more information than I've had, and I've been winning since 1988. All right, weather. San Jose State and USC. Heat should be a factor here. New Mexico State and Florida State, there is a 60% chance of rain, so we do want to check that on game day. Some betting, interesting betting splits. New Mexico State, 96% of the spread bets, only 80% of the money. We'll see what happens that gets closer to game time. San Jose State, 92% of the spread bets, just 47% of the money. Some of the biggest line moves. Jackson State and North Dakota State, NDSU, open up at a 10, and it's now down to like 6.5 and 7. So shop around at Odds Logic for that. San Jose State USC total open up at 55, and it is high as 60 to 61 and a half. NC State TCU total opened up from 49.5 to 50.5, and now it's down to 47.5. All right, I do want to give you a couple free picks. NC State plus the 4.5 over Virginia. NC State has the established quarterback. They're really fairly healthy. Virginia's projected starting receiver, Rico Flores, is out. They lost their running back and return specialist Solomon Beebe. Impact linebacker Cam Robinson is trying to return from a torn ACL, so a free pick. NC State, I like them at 4 or better. Jacksonville State plus a 6.5 again over North Dakota State. Again, I know it's a big emotional game for North Dakota State. Maybe those of you like to bet the first, they might be a fairly decent bet in the first quarter. Jacksonville State might be even better on the live line if North Dakota State uses, all the adrenaline, gets off to an early lead. Jackson State would certainly be a very live dog, but too much uncertainty as far as the personnel is concerned. I do like Jackson State plus the 5.5. So again, NC State and Jackson State. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Bookmark pnp.buzz/JD for the best free picks all the time and the best information in the business.